everybody has a guide,
Hmm.
and it's what they call a non-physical teacher, meaning that in the non-physical place they have, more or less things that we do, and there are teachers of how to participate in physical life.
Sure.
And that teacher is with us our whole lifespan. So people call that being a guide. And they just say, well, it is a guide, but it's more accurate to say non-physical teacher.
Hmm.
That's James and my, I just say my level one guide. And the teachers of Yeshua is a broad group of non-physical teachers. They say there's anywhere from 40 to 50 in large group channeled sessions, 4 or 5 in readings and attunements. And
Wow.
they call themselves the teachers of the teachers, meaning they're the beings who teach guides how to be guides,
Hmm.
and they know all things about physical life.
Hmm.
They're the ones that brought forward the essential material, and they say any human being that is a channeled person and is having channeled teachings come through, the information is one of 4 categories: non-physical life and why we're having physical life. That's pillar one, the foundational material.
Hmm.
All things law of attraction and that thoughts create your future reality. That's pillar two. Pillar three is light activation and all the ways to heal your body in holistic ways and using source frequency to heal. That's pillar three. And pillar four is learning how to communicate verbally in a clairvoyant and channeled way. So
Hmm.
pillars one, two, three, and four, that's what they call the essential material.
Hmm.
And I have the really cool life, I guess, that they teach all of it. They teach segments of each pillar. So all four
Hmm.
pillars are part of their suite. Now the 4 pillars are also aligned to the chakra system. So, when you say it's been a whirlwind. So March 20th, 2019 was the
Hmm.
day of face spelling. And so it's only been 4.5 years. It's, I guess March will be 5 years. And they've written 37 books by video,
Wow.
and they are really fun. I don't have all of them published yet because it's time consuming. I do everything myself right now, but they're all color coded. For pillar one is orange and it aligns to the sacrum. Pillar two is
Hmm.
blue, aligns to the throat chakra. Pillar three is magenta and pink, aligns to the root. And pillar four is um, purple, which aligns to the crown. So it's very easy. You're having a bad day and you just had an argument with somebody at work. Sit down and open one of the blue books, and it will give you a healing sensation and
Wow.
also smooth out your temperament and your emotions in the moment. So it's just fun. It's color
Yeah.
coded. It's
Wow.
it's alignment. It's very deliberate and categorized, which suits my personality. I like
Hmm.
to say I have just enough OCD to make life easy,
Right. Right. Right.
and they've just fit right in with that, and so it's fun.
Wow. Um, yeah. So that's a lot of material. 37 books in 4 years.
37 books. Yeah. 32 of them are 100 pages, and the
Hmm.
rest are, more like chapter books.
Hmm.
But not only that, so I do channeled awakening classes to bring out
Hmm.
mediumship. I do channeled self healing, the art of self healing classes. I
Hmm.
do channeled workshops, readings and attunements every day of the week, Monday
Hmm.
through Friday. And I have people all over the world in 4 years, from New Zealand and Australia all the way over to Russia and United States, Canada.
Hmm.
It's all over Europe, India, and I was naming all the countries to my daughters the other day, and they said, "Mom, we get it. You have a lot of people,"
Hmm.
and I'm
Hmm.
like, "Well, it's not that I have a lot of followers, but there's a little bit of followers all over the world,
Yeah. Right.
and that's the the energy of the beings that communicate through me. They're drawing people to me
Hmm.
and drew us together, which is really cool. And
Yeah.
so, I just always give credit where credit is due, and I give it to them first, and then all the kind responses and feedback that I get for what they teach.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm curious, as a channel, you also, in the channeled state, give intuitive and medium type readings as well. So, the teachers will bring through, how does that look? Does the teachers bring through like, oh, by the way, as I'm departing this wisdom to you, here's great grandmother, Gertrude, who wants to, pop in and say hi? Like,
Yeah.
or is it a separate
Well,
process for you?
it's a little bit of mix and match with terminology.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you their definition of the terms, and then
Okay.
people use whatever terms.
Sure.
Intuition. Intuition is being silently, non-verbally guided to do something. All of a sudden you have plans for the weekend, and you just really don't feel like that's the right thing to do. Now that could be law of attraction, or it could be intuition. You get to the stove right in the moment that the pot of pasta is just about to bubble over. Again, it could be positive law of attraction or intuition. So those two things, it's hard to discern. So there is intuition, and that's just knowing something or doing something. And then there's psychic activity. And psychic is how we create. The way they describe it is we have this voyeur ability to scan the world at large and bring information back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we find people and things and make connections. And it's also how a lot of readings are done. And so I don't do psychic work.
Mm-hmm.
Clairvoyant is sights and sounds and physical sensations that I receive in the mind's eye. I do have that. But all of my readings, all of my energy work sessions, all of my private appointments, all of my workshops, all of my classes are channeled. So I do have clairvoyant activity that happens when words are flowing out loud, and that's the easiest way to describe it, is there is clairvoyant activity at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't choose the words or choose the descriptions. If
Mm-hmm.
the vision that I'm seeing is useful, the teachers will describe it. So it's the way that they are progressing students is they simply say intuition advances to clairvoyant medium.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that the inner mind or the subconscious mind is asking the body to present thoughts to you that are originated from the other side.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Channeled is when the body will speak the words
Mm-hmm.
that have been originated on the other side instead of thinking them. And so I just say, we're all taught to sit and think about what you just did, or, you sit and you think and you sit and you work. And so we're taught to think before we speak. And it's interesting that that's the way abilities progress. So intuition moves to clairvoyant, which is thinking thoughts that have come from beyond. And then channeled is speaking, directly
Mm-hmm.
speaking without presenting it in the mind first. So I do everything channeled because they have a way of describing things, and sometimes pace, fast or slow,
Mm-hmm.
repetition, it's always meaningful. But they watch the energy of whoever is in the room and whoever's listening,
Yeah.
viewers to this interview as well. And
Yeah.
so they are more equipped to know what people need than people are. So I always defer to them.
Right. Right. It's like if from their perspective, they know every person that will ever hear. As we're recording this in real time, I'm, we're combining energies in this moment. And then there's the ripple once this is actually, a month from now pushed out to, many people all around the world. They know who those people are and what they're, because of course, then it's all happening in this moment as well, from the ultimate perspective. I imagine you would agree with time
Yeah.
is an illusion. And so,
Yeah.
it's a fascinating thing to consider, like how unique their process must be of like, okay, let's take everyone who's meant to hear this particular broadcast and see what would best serve. And of course, you or I can never know. We can just be there to receive it and,
Right.
explore what's offered, right?
They describe it in a lot of different ways. They say everybody's ready to receive any channeled message. Everybody's ready, but not everybody is listening. Not everybody's intuition is strong in that moment. So I do know, because they've had conversations with me. They said, Carol, we're all ready. What we do is we talk to the guide of every person that is interested in this kind of material.
Mm-hmm.
And the guide of every person that is supposed to be interested in this kind of material.
Mm-hmm.
And they use energy techniques to draw people to your show or directly to me or somebody that's watched your show that would refer somebody else. And so it's like this domino effect. And I laugh sometimes. I just say guides of people, non-physical teachers, they have to be on 24 hours a day. And they say, Carol, we never, ever, ever, ever take our eyes off of you or anybody within about a 50-mile radius of you. And so if you're in a big city, that means they are constantly communicating with everybody's non-physical guide to help maneuver and bring people together or keep you apart. And intuition is what helps you to be guided in greater amounts. And so
Yeah. Right.
how do you get better intuition? Silent meditation is the number one way to increase your intuition, increase your intellect, increase your comprehension, increase your emotional balance and your friendliness. And so I just, a plug for meditation, 10 minutes or less.
Sit down and shut up.
Asking the mind to shut up. But that's hard. It is hard.